Good stuff. A new record from Wolf Alice and White Horses, the weekly Groan. Last week, and let's condense it and speed things up slightly. I noticed one of my front tyres going flat. I pumped it up, over time lost pressure. The saga continued because of the spare. And the spare is kept at the back of the vehicle, but on the underside. To access it, you've got to lower it to the ground using a wheel wrench. I kept turning the bolt and got the infuriating click of death, where you think the tyre is lowering, but it gets stuck. I was starting to run out of options here, as I had one tyre that was totally flat and another that was stuck on the underside of the car. Part 2. I called Dad to help me out with this as it needed a couple of people. He couldn't get the spare off either. Luckily, he has the same vehicle as me, so we decided we would take the spare off his and put it on mine. We did this, and over the next few days got the broken tyre fixed. It was indeed an issue with the valve, and I put that back on mine and the spare back on Dad's. Don't forget though, my spare was still stuck on the underside of my vehicle, partially deployed. The garage had a look at this and sprayed the mechanism with some lubricant. I had done the same, but it still wouldn't budge up or down. I had to use the vehicle myself, and I could hear this spare bumping around, so I had to drive carefully. It ultimately wasn't going to go anywhere, but this was less than ideal. The garage had given some advice when you remove the spare, and that was to push down when turning the bolt anti-clockwise. I knew this and thought I'd give it another go. So that's two things you've got to do while simultaneously trying to see if the tyre is lowering. It's so difficult. I was turning it, putting some pressure on it, and the bolt broke. Turns out it was made using cheap metal. Now we really did have a problem. The only way this thing was coming off is if we cut it out. Stupidly, I suggested we take Dad's spare off again to see how the winch mechanism was fitted, because I couldn't remember if it was fitted on the top or the bottom via the bolts. It's the latter, but I wanted to check so I knew what to expect on mine, because now we're going to have to chop the cable holding the tyre and take off and replace the entire mechanism. I started removing Dad's spare, and that mechanism partially failed. Yet again, you'd turn the bolt and the tyre would lower, but only get so far. It had lowered a bit more than mine did, but not enough to do anything without more faffing. See, these spare winches are rubbish. How did we get around that? And we still haven't sorted out my spare tyre. Part 3, and indeed thankfully the concluding part of this gosh darn ordeal, will air next week.